Good evening from ringside at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. We begin tonight with the main event in the amateur division. This is for the amateur middleweight title. Josh Porcher versus Ira Jeter. Joining me now at ringside, former Oklahoma heavyweight champion. Please welcome Darren Humphrey. Darren,
well, it's good to be
what
back.
should we expect here in the main event on the amateur card?
Well, it's going to depend on which fighter comes out and sets the pace, you know. In the amateurs, they only fight 3 rounds, so to me, whoever sets that initial pace and can work that through is probably going to be the one that comes out on top.
These fights are 3 2-minute rounds. Tonight's fights brought to you by HD Boxing.
Welcome to your amateur main event of the evening, brought to you by Farmers Insurance. 3 rounds of boxing scheduled in the middleweight division, and this is for the OKC Fight Night Middleweight Title. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, the challenger. Please welcome Ira Jeter. And his opponent from across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, the reigning, defending amateur middleweight title of Oklahoma City Fight Night. Please welcome Josh Porcher. We go to Israel Mila for your instructions.
The stakes for this fight are high. The fighters giving each other the stare down during referees' instructions. 3 rounds for the amateur middleweight title. Josh Porcher versus Ira Jeter. Waiting for the bell to ring, and here we go. Porcher's a southpaw, defending champion, comes out blazing. He looks like he's setting the pace, while Porcher looks to move and slip punches and is pretty good at it.
Yeah, it looks like Porcher is coming out here and trying to set the jab, and he's coming forward. He's trying to set the tone here.
Well, these have been some phenomenal amateur fights here at the Remble at Remington. At Remington Park in Oklahoma City. The amateurs have been up on a par with a lot of the pro fights that we see. These guys like to trade punches, move, show off their boxing skills. And I'm sure they have their sights set on a pro career someday. Darren Humphrey, former heavyweight champion of Oklahoma. Tell me what you see out of these fighters so far.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think Porcher is coming out, pressing everything, and I think Jeter's, trying to counterpunch and move away. I think Porcher, he's the champion, so he's not gonna give that up very easy, I wouldn't think. And fighting in these amateur fights are a little bit shorter in the round, so these guys come out here and let it go, throwing some heavy punches right here.
Porcher defending his amateur middleweight title.
And if you notice, Porcher comes out in a southpaw stance, and now he's turned up orthodox.
He did start out southpaw, and he ended the round with a beautiful double jab, went downstairs, then up, both of them landing. A little something for Jeter to remember in between rounds. How would you score that one?
Well, that's a tough one to score. There was a lot of action there, but ultimately I think Porcher probably came out and set the tone. He was the aggressor, he was setting the pace. As I mentioned, Jeter, he was more of a counterpuncher, trying to slip and dodge and move.
Porcher really seemed to dictate the action, the geography of the fight quite a bit more than Jeter. I guess that's an advantage of being a champion, is you have the experience, and when you're defending the belt,
yeah, and the challenger
you're
has
on the higher ground
away from you.
Yeah. Here we go, round 2, middleweight amateur championship at stake here at Remington Park. Jeter versus Porcher.
And it looks like Porcher comes back out, throwing that double jab. I definitely like that, especially in an amateur fight. A lot of times they're going to stand in a phone booth and bang it out.
These guys are really showing off their skills. They're showing off their heart. But I will say that Porcher does look a lot more confident. Just a look on his face.
Yeah,
you get the impression he believes he's in control of this fight.
Yep, definitely, and he's the champion. He's the one that has to be beat. Jeter's got a tough job coming in here and dethroning him. And it looks like
Porcher throwing that left hook just a little bit low. Referee didn't see it, but he's been very effective with the body punching.
Yeah, and that's something you don't see a lot in amateur fights. That's what I like about these guys here, both of them. They're working that body and then moving back to the head. That's very important, especially when you move into the pro ranks. If you notice now, Porcher's back in an orthodox style, and he's ripping that hook to the body and coming back up top. I like it. They're throwing a lot of combination punches.
Nice 1-2 landed by Jeter, but overall, Porcher seems to be winning most of the exchanges.
Yeah, and he definitely looks to be the stronger fighter right now.
Stronger, his punches are crisper, and he's landing his shots cleaner.
Good 1-2 down the middle. Jeter comes back. He's counter-punching real well. Nice hook there by Jeter.
Oh!
I'm not sure I've ever seen that.
And Jeter landing that left hook so well, it actually knocked the headgear off of Porcher. I imagine it was just a slip of the Velcro or strap or something like that. It didn't look like a tremendously powerful punch, but it happened within the last probably 5 seconds of round 2.
Yeah, and I think Jeter maybe needs to use this as a break, to catch his breath, and because to me he needs to start pressing the action. I think Porcher is, coming forward and setting the tone, and I think he's definitely winning the fight at this point.
Jeter's right above us in the neutral corner with his polo socks on, and seems to be making most of this timeout, keeping himself a little warm, moving back and forth, but he's not resting his arms up on the top rope, which is usually a good sign.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready for them to ring that bell, and it looks like Porcher has something maybe wrong with his headgear. It's taking a little bit longer than they expected.
Yes, it is. And now the referee is intervening.
Looks like he's got it about fixed up here.
Okay, so it wasn't defective equipment, user error, all that straightened out now. Here we go. Final seconds. Second of round number 2. We'll be right back. This will be the third and final round for this amateur fight. The winner will be the middleweight champion of Oklahoma, defending his title is Jeter. I think I was saying Porcher was defending his title, but it's actually Jeter defending his title. Or is this an open?
Well, I thought it was Porcher who's defending his title. Porcher's the champion coming into this.
He is, okay. He was fighting out of the blue corner. I was slightly confused, but now the fighters are back in action in the center of the ring, trading shots, not really setting up the punches with the jab.
No, and amateur boxing is obviously a little bit different than pro.
And Porcher going back to fighting southpaw.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot more combinations here in this amateur fight than we have in some of the pro fights, is because they're fighting off a point system, not a round system. Good hook to the body there.
I will say this is our 8th amateur bout of the night before the pro fights start. We have 6 on the card tonight, but you look around this arena and the place is already packed. There's a lot of people who jammed into Remington Park to catch these amateur fights, and they're getting their money's worth now.
Boom. Oh, good lead left uppercut there by Porcher. Jeter looks like he's having probably a better round than he's had the last couple to me.
He has, but he does look exhausted.
Oh, good hook there. I don't know if Porcher slipped there or actually took that. But it looks like Jeter's throwing some heavy leather here in the last round.
And that is it. The third and final round over. Fighters hug in ring center as we await the judges to tally their scorecards. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for that magnificent fight? The OKC Fight Night main event of the evening goes to the scorecards.
And your winner by split decision, and
not sure I agree with that
Well, I got to tell you, Darren, I find that outcome a little surprising. I thought Porcher fought the better fight. But, you get a different angle of the fight no matter where you're sitting at ringside, I guess. I thought Porcher won the fight based on his cleaner punches, and he just looked more experienced overall.
Sure, I think he definitely landed the harder punches. He was coming forward the whole time. He was definitely setting the pace, landing the heavier punches. We're all sitting down here on the edge of the ring. I'm not sure what they saw, but something totally different than what I saw.
Watching these two fighters, I think they're probably pretty evenly matched as far as athleticism, as far as their potential for being good fighters. It just looked that Porcher, just the way he fought, he looked to have quite a bit more experience than
Sure,
Jeter.
he was switching back and forth from being southpaw to orthodox. He was throwing better combination punches. I just thought he looked like the overall better fighter.
Surprising outcome, but a great fight nonetheless.
Ladies and gentlemen, OKC Fight Night would like to once again thank USA Boxing